There's my 96 Oldsmobile, and we're going to go ahead and take the transmission pan off. So maybe by putting some slick shift in it and some Dexron Mercon 6, it will start shifting properly again. I also looked at the transmission vacuum modulator, and the diaphragm is not ruptured. I pulled the vacuum line off of it, and there was no transmission fluid in it. But we might try replacing that as well. Here's the transmission pan. I'll go around the transmission pan and break them loose so they're only finger tight, and then I can get them off with the extension. All right, we're starting to get some seepage now. We're going to lose at least 6 quarts when we pull this pan down. I've been letting it drain. You can see that it's pretty loose. I got 2 bolts in it, and I want to see if there is clutch material in it. Making quite a mess, but that's okay. Whoa, buddy. Go ahead and let it drain, Battle. All right. She's disconnected. Let's look. There's not a lot. Oh, I see some glittery up here, Battle. That's the steels. I can feel it. Yep, it's on its way out. Let's go ahead and take this filter off, Battle. It should be held in there by tension. There we go, Battle. What a pain in the butt. Look at all the steel material on it. I've rebuilt a Turbo 400 before and a Slim Jim Roto-Hydromatic. That Slim Jim Roto-Hydromatic is a piece of junk that was on the early Oldsmobiles before the Turbo Hydromatics. And I've been inside the C6 in my bullnose truck. So let's go ahead and head over to the bench and check out this transmission filter. And here's the transmission pan. There's a magnet there with a bunch of steel material on it. There is a bunch of steel material in the pan. The transmission's on its way out, Battle. Here's the transmission filter. It's got steel material on it. And here's the transmission fluid. It's dark. I don't see any glittery sheen in the transmission fluid itself, but there was so much steel material in the pan and on the filter that no doubt clutch material and steel material is suspended in the fluid. Okay, we have some materials to add Dexron Mercon 6. Here's the old transmission filter. Here's the new one. We got some slick shift, and we got a transmission vacuum modulator just in case. Okay, we got the old transmission filter, and then here's the new one. So let's go ahead and pull it out of the box. Let's see what else is in the box. We got the receipt, and then here's a new pan gasket, which if you get transmission filters for these 4T60Es and other transmissions, you'll notice that some of them come with a cork gasket, and the cork gasket is single use, but these rubber gaskets are multiple use, which is OE style. We had a rubber gasket on the pan that we removed, but we'll go ahead and use this new one. They're identical. So let's go ahead and get underneath the car and install the transmission filter. Here is the transaxle, and it's been dripping overnight. Here's the new transmission filter. You want to add a little bit of transmission fluid, get it lined up. 64. There we go. And it should slide into place and firmly seat in the transaxle. We got the filter in. We should be ready for the transmission pan. Here's the new gasket. Here's the old gasket. Notice there wasn't any sealer on the old gasket. All right, she started. Go ahead and line up my other bolt. All right, this is the last bolt to start, Battle. We want to make sure we snug these down sort of in a crisscross pattern. And this flexible extension prevents me from really torquing down because I don't want to bend anything. So now that we got them started, we can go ahead and get our torque wrench. 13 foot-pounds, Battle, per page 7A-34. And that is 13 foot-pounds on all 20 bolts. Got my funnel. Got the Dextron Mercon 6. Let's hope that it works some wonders. Give it some time for the transmission fluid to filter into all the nooks and crannies of the transaxle. All right. There's 4 quarts, Battle. I'm going to go ahead and start the 96. We got this transmission nutted. Let's go ahead and add the whole thing, Battle. So, Battle, we're at about 5 3/4 quarts, just shy of 6. And we've moved the gear selector back and forth a bit. But we need to give the car a chance to warm up before we top off the transmission fluid. Our fan is kicked on. Let's go ahead and check it. It's not even at the lower line yet. And in between the 2 holes is 1 pint. So we're at over a quart. I'm going to add an entire quart, Battle. It looks like it's good. All right, Battle, we're ready for a test drive. Why don't you come along with me? All right, let's see if it shifts properly now. Here's the test, Battle. I never went over 20 mile an hour in the neighborhood, and it's 45 through here, so let's listen for the shift. Nope. No dice. All right, Battle. I tried it a good 3 or 4 times in between the house and a service station about a mile or 2 away, and it didn't shift properly one time. I thought to myself, oh, well, I could go ahead and put it down in first and then shift it manually, but you don't want to do that because it should be able to operate properly in overdrive. I don't know, maybe we'll put the vacuum accumulator on. I need to do some reading and try to figure out if that's going to help at all. I could drive it to the shop close to the house, and I could have them put a new transmission in it, which would be the tune of over $2,500 probably. Okay, here we have a vacuum gauge, and it's attached right here to the throttle body and right here to the vacuum accumulator. Stand by, Battle. That's idle. Now let's put it in the drive for the vacuum service vehicle. You see it, Battle? That's how much vacuum it has in drive. It had 13 inches of vacuum at idle in drive, and per page 7A-23 of the Oldsmobile service manual, that is adequate. So let's go ahead and remove the modulator. I have a catch pan underneath the car, And then we can test the modulator with a vacuum hand pump. So it's one bolt, and it's buried down here. You just got to be careful. It's crammed in there by the exhaust crossover. There's a transmission connector there, the vacuum line to the vacuum modulator. And of course, it's a long-winded son of a gun. There we go. 13 millimeter bolt, Battle. There's the bracket that holds the vacuum modulator in. And there it is. All right, let's go ahead and take it over to the bench and test it with a little handheld vacuum pump we got. We'll apply vacuum to the vacuum modulator and see how long it holds the vacuum. It should be 15 inches to 20 inches of vacuum, and it should hold it longer than 30 seconds. 20 inches of vacuum, 28, 29, and 30. And we're still at like 19.8 inches of vacuum. Look, Battle. The piston in the vacuum modulator actuates just fine. I would be inclined to say that this vacuum modulator is just fine. So that means that there's something internal to the transaxle that prevents it from shifting. So that's the extent of troubleshooting for me. Thanks for helping me out today, Battle. Make sure you check out one of these other videos I did on my 96 Oldsmobile. And I'll see you next time, Battle. So let's go ahead and work the gear shifter back and forth a little bit. Listen for the idler change, Battle. It's in reverse. Neutral. Drive. Third. Second. First. That's not a good sound, Battle. This isn't going to end well, Battle.